Good evening, my lovelies. I'm Lady Creepypasta, and it is so good to be back. I do apologize for my absence the past 2 weeks. My voice was stolen, and when it returned, there was so much to do in my realm, I couldn't have you come over to visit. But all is well now, and hopefully we are back to our regular uploads. I've returned with part 1 of what may become a series. This is an intriguing one by Redditor AlienRouge, and I hope you enjoy it as much as I do. So come now, my dears, lean in closer, and we'll begin. To whom this body belongs. I'm sorry about your nails, I really am. I tried to clean the dried blood out from under them as best as I could, but really, it's difficult when your body clearly drank its weight in alcohol and fine motor skills aren't a thing. Let me back up. You probably have little to no recollection of last night. If you're reading this, I assume you've peeled yourself out of bed, hopefully popped the aspirin I left by your phone, and thoroughly brushed your teeth. Sorry about my bad aftertaste. If I was a lesser person, I'd blame it on the booze, but, well, I'm not exactly a person, for starters. You might notice you're wearing a trendy new choker necklace, always in style. I chose a basic black so it would go with most of your outfits. I wouldn't recommend taking it off for a while. And I'm sorry to hijack your Reddit account, but I figured this was a good way to initiate contact. I want to leave you an explanation of what happened and a few simple instructions. Your shit friends left you alone at the bar around midnight. You know that expression about a special place in hell for women who don't help other women? Well, it's accurate. Trust me. Anyway, don't get too upset that they ditched you. I had a quick peek at their futures and saw a lot of flat tires, low batteries, missing TV remotes, and other karma-fueled consequences they'll face throughout the rest of their lives. As your gal pals were climbing into their Uber, you were lurching out of the main floor bathroom. You took out your phone, but I could see you were barely able to unlock it, much less arrange your own ride home. Then I saw a gentleman we're going to refer to as Matt. Big dude of the meathead variety. I'm sure you'll see his face on the news soon enough. He'd been at the bar far longer than you had. You might know Matt. He's a friend of a co-worker or something. Matt definitely knew you. His eyes lit up and his aura took on a hue I can only describe as gross and douchey. I could see the gears in his pea-brain working overtime as his intentions manifested into dark, slimy tentacles reaching out towards you. Your aura, by comparison, was radiating sloppy yet peaceful waves that smelt like tequila sunrise. Come to think of it, maybe that wasn't your aura. Maybe you were literally sweating alcohol at that point. Matt came up and reintroduced himself to you. I floated closer to hear. He was trying to cajole you into going to another bar to meet up with some buddies of his, but you wanted to go home. I was about to shoo him away when I saw him slip his hand into your purse. He withdrew your phone. It went into his pocket and you were none the wiser. I consider myself benevolent. I decided to give Matt the benefit of the doubt. Perhaps he was a young gun trying to get into your good graces and would heroically find your phone at the end of the night. Or, oh God, nope. I read his aura right the first time. Auras aren't the only thing I can read from afar. Matt had texted a group chat. Got me a Stacy, Mavericks. BSMT, get here now. He was steering you away from the crowd, downstairs into the predictably grimy bathrooms in which patrons either puked or fornicated. Guess which one Matt was thinking. He practically dragged you into the men's room, and I followed, opting to forego my sense of smell. He sat you on the counter. Your head was slumped to your chest. His aura radiated molestes bronze. You were barely conscious, and for a second, I wondered if this was such a good idea. What if I was too strong for you? What if you were too drunk for me? But then I saw Matt's hand reaching under your top. A god-awful, chunky gold-class ring on his pinky finger was the final straw. I swooped into you and shuffled around, trying to get comfortable. Picture hopping in an unfamiliar car, sliding the seat back, adjusting the rear view, checking your mirrors, finding a good radio station, etc. I cracked your knuckles and acclimatized to your senses. Perfect orientation. Within moments, I became we. We straightened up, forcing Matt's hand away from the clasp of our bra. My initial assessment was overly optimistic. Your body was the drunkest vessel I had ever helmed, and our limbs weren't responding as enthusiastically as the average humans. I imagine it was similar to maneuvering a laggy computer, when, after clicking frantically for a minute, your screen explodes with tasks. I tried to move our left foot forward, pull Matt's hand out from under our skirt, and turn our head to meet his eye. Your body didn't respond, so I tried harder, and then it did. Aggressively. Our left foot snapped up, and our high, sharply heeled pump came down on Matt's shoe with such force it pierced through his foot. We yanked Matt's hand from our bra hard enough to nearly detach it from his wrist. Our heads spun around a solid 180 degrees to leave us facing the dirty mirror above the sinks. "Fuck!" Matt screamed, trying to dislodge his foot from our heel. "Fuck!" we screamed, trying to twist our head around. It wouldn't budge, so I made the executive decision to perform a temporary beheading. We punched the mirror, grabbed a long shard of glass, and sliced off our noggin in a few strokes. Do you know how hard it is to maneuver your head onto your shoulders from the perspective of said head rolling around on the floor? Our hands scrambled frantically at a faucet while our head trundled along the tiles. "Oh, for Pete's sake!" we exclaimed. I know Pete. Great dude, by the way. I made a quick exit from your being through an orifice. Obviously your mouth. I have a sense of decorum. And stuck your head on haphazardly before diving back in. By this time, Matt had freed his foot, which was bleeding profusely over the floor. He hadn't noticed our shenanigans clearly, as rage was beginning to take over his panic. His aura went from opportunistic predator to an angry, unstable animal. With an ungodly roar, his fist met the side of our wobbling head. His other hand pulled out a switchblade and held it to our eye. Here was the conundrum. I didn't want to hurt him. Honestly, I didn't. My job is to scare people straight, and that's it. Corporate had sent me to deter a different young woman from a lifetime of alcohol abuse and misery. We're given specific dates, targets, and a recommended plan of action to alter that decisive moment, subject to change only under extenuating circumstances. Tonight's work called for a simple jump into the bartender and do a few party tricks, a classic head spin, the good old glowing eyes, unhinge the jaw a few clicks to scare the target away from bar shots forever. I finished in record time and was about to head to my next assignment when you caught my eye. Management would have undoubtedly preferred I watch you and Matt from afar and file a report to a department that would maybe give it a glance. But I took pity and went rogue. I was going to give Matt, and any one of his buddies who might show up, a great shock, but refrain from harmful bodily contact as per Rule 4.07. But then he started beating you senseless, and I went rogue again. While Matt was systematically pounding his fist into our gut, sorry about that, but I promise I made sure you'll heal quicker than average, I took a brief look into his future, and I did not like what I saw. Matt was on a path that was wholly uncorrectable, and he was never going to redeem himself, and he was never going to get caught. So I did what I had to do. I'll spare you the details, but please know that Matt deserved what he got. Clean under your fingernails, give your teeth a good floss, burn the clothes you wore last night, enjoy your new switchblade, and don't go back to that bar ever again. Actually, if you could keep off the sauce entirely, it would do wonders for my conscience. You've probably noticed by now that your hair's a different color. Based on what went down last night, I figured it'd be best if you didn't look like any patrons caught on camera, so I dyed it. No offense, but the brassy blonde wasn't doing your skin tone any favors. Cool brunette becomes you. The choker I've gifted you is pretty much the only reason your head isn't rolling around on the floor right now. I'm not the best at reversing decapitation, but in a few weeks you'll be as good as new, I think. In the meantime, enjoy your new party trick. It's also great to be able to detach your head when navigating large crowds. Lastly, there's a couple heavy-duty garbage bags by the back door. Please dispose of them promptly. I already dug the hole in the yard, so all you have to do is dump the contents in. Try to make sure any stray extremities, fingers, teeth, an eye, etc., haven't accidentally slipped out. I also left a sack of lye that I recommend you mix in before refilling the hole. Sorry to make you do this. I had to make a swift exit after my higher-ups realized what I did. I'm officially on the lam. Also, I'd like to catch up with the few of Matt's buddies who made it out of the bar. Thank you for sharing your body last night. We did some great work together. Should you ever consider collaborating again, please don't hesitate to reach out to me here. We could do a lot of good in the world. What do you think this entity is? If you have any ideas, pop me a message on social media. I'm Lady McCreepster on both Facebook and Twitter. If you are watching this on YouTube, leave me a comment below. I'd like to welcome our new family members on Patreon. Thank you so much for your support. It really does make a difference. If you would also like to become a member of our dark family on Patreon, head over to patreon.com/Lady McCreepster. That's all I have for you this evening, my dears, but I promise I'll see you soon.